Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the philosophy that has guided the Modi government as it completes 12 years in governance. It has successfully projected India as a force for global good. You're watching DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Welcome to this special presentation, 12 years of nation building, India's global successes.
देश उस महान सांस्कृतिक परंपरा को लेकर के चला है, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम। ये हमारे संस्कार है, ये हमारा चरित्र है। सदियों से हमने इसे जिया है। हम पूरे विश्व को एक परिवार मानते हैं। हम अपने पड़ोसियों का भी सुख चाहते हैं, वे भी सुख चैन से जिए, हमें भी सुख चैन से जीने दे। ये हमारा हजारों साल से चिंतन रहा है।
Nowhere is this success more evident than in India's leadership of the Global South. India's expanding footprint in the Global South, that is Africa, Latin America, parts of Asia and other developing countries, has grown notably since 2014. Through trade, concessional financing, grants, technical assistance, vaccine and health diplomacy, digital public goods sharing and multilateral advocacy. This reflects a strategy of South-South cooperation, capacity building and pragmatic partnerships, often framed as development partnership rather than traditional aid. India hosted the influential G20 summit in 2023. During its G20 presidency, India successfully advocated for and achieved the inclusion of African Union as a permanent member at the New Delhi Leaders Summit. This was the first expansion of G20 membership since its formation in 1999. The African Union, representing 55 African nations, gained status equivalent to the European Union. The move expanded the G20 to represent a larger share of the world's population and strengthen the voice of the Global South. Prior to inclusion, G20 covered 85% of global GDP, 75% of global trade, and two-thirds of world's population. African Union addition amplified representation of Africa's 1.4 billion people and $3 trillion of combined GDP. During the crisis of COVID pandemic, India's vaccine diplomacy significantly boosted its global footprint, positioning it as the pharmacy of the world, enhancing soft power, especially in the Global South, neighborhood and with developing nations. According to India's Ministry of External Affairs, as of 2023, total vaccines supplied were approximately 301.25 million doses, grants of 15.13 million doses, commercial sales of over 234 million doses, COVAX supplies of 52.03 million doses. By early 2021, India had already exported over 66 million doses to 94 countries, accounting for a large share of early global supply to low and middle-income countries. Vaccines reached over 100 countries, plus the UN peacekeepers and health workers. Strong focus on neighborhood first and Africa, Latin America, Caribbean. India supplied key vaccines like Covishield and Covaxin. Vaccine Maitri initiative launched in January of 2021, just days after India's domestic rollout. Early grants to neighbours first, like Bhutan and Maldives, built immediate reciprocity. Many leaders publicly thanked India. It countered the vaccine nationalism practiced by the wealthier nations. India was already a major vaccine exporter, generic medicines and routine vaccines, but COVID-19 diplomacy scaled this dramatically in visibility and geopolitical impact. Beyond the pandemic, India's expanding role in international disaster management and humanitarian assistance in recent years has strengthened its image as a first responder, especially in its neighborhood and increasingly beyond. In the last 5 years, India conducted around 30 major humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations globally. It has provided humanitarian assistance and disaster relief to over 150 countries. India led several successful missions. In 2014, Operation Neer addressed Maldives' severe water crisis by delivering 20,000 litres of fresh water and desalination units. Operation Maitri in 2015 responded to Nepal's devastating earthquake, deploying aircraft, helicopters, medical teams and 43 tons of relief materials to aid thousands. In Myanmar, floods prompted relief shipments in 2015, followed by Operation Karuna in 2023 for Cyclone Mocha, where naval ships delivered 40 tons of food, medicines and shelter, and Operation Brahma in 2025 after a major earthquake, airlifting 15 tons of tents, blankets and medical aid. Bangladesh saw Operation Insaniyat in 2017 for the Rohingya refugee crisis, providing 53 tons of rice, medicines and blankets, with additional assistance during Cyclone Mora in 2018. Operation Sahayata in 2019 assisted Mozambique following Cyclone Idai, with naval ships delivering over 1,000 tons of aid and treating over 1,700 patients. Turkey and Syria were helped through Operation Dost in 2023 after their earthquake, deploying 99 personnel, field hospitals and 150 tons of aid. Iran-Israel tensions prompted Operation Sindhu for evacuating over 285 students and citizens. In 2022 and 2024, 140 tons of medical aid and disaster relief was sent to Ukraine from 2022 to 2024 in 5 tranches. 21 tons of medical equipment and gensets and other equipments, 4 Bhishma cubes and 10 diesel generator sets were also provided. India is also the largest troop contributor to United Nations missions, with over 200,000 troops deployed since 1950. Under leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India has been at the forefront of sustainable development initiatives. International Solar Alliance (ISA), launched in 2015 by India and France at COP21 in Paris, with headquarters in Gurugram, India. It is the first treaty-based intergovernmental organization headquartered in India. It is dedicated to accelerating the deployment of solar energy as pathway to energy access, energy security and sustainable development. ISA was created to mobilize collective action against climate change through the widespread adoption of solar energy solutions. Today, ISA has evolved into a global platform for international cooperation on solar energy. Following an amendment to its framework agreement in the year 2020, membership is now open to all member states of the United Nations. enabling countries across the world to collaborate in accelerating solar deployment. ISA started with a focus on sunshine countries or tropical regions. This represents rapid expansion from initial dozens to over 120 countries. Towards 1,000 strategy aims to mobilize $1 trillion in solar investments by the year 2030, deliver energy access to 1 billion people and deploy 1,000 gigawatts of solar capacity. India provides core financial support and hosts the Secretariat. ISA member countries contributed $861.2 billion to global energy transition investments out of over $2,000 billion in total. Solar attracted $521 billion globally, with renewables at $725 billion. India's own solar capacity grew dramatically from 3 gigawatts in 2014 to over 110 gigawatts by 2025, a 39-fold increase. ISA elevates India as a leader in clean energy for the global south, facilitating technology transfer, financing, standards and South-South cooperation while aligning with India's domestic renewable push. With the Digital India Revolution, Unified Payments Interface or UPI has emerged as the backbone of India's digital payments ecosystem, a critical driver of financial inclusion and a powerful tool of global influence. Over a decade of operations, UPI has demonstrated extraordinary scale and momentum. Annual transaction volume expanded from just 2 crore transactions in financial year 2016-17 to over 24,162 crore transactions in financial year 2025-26, representing an almost 12,000-fold surge in transaction volume. Parallelly, transaction value also rose sharply from rupees 0.07 lakh crore in financial year 2016-17 to approximately rupees 314 lakh crore in financial year 2025-26, translating into more than 4,000-fold increase in transaction value. This simultaneous expansion in both volume and value highlights UPI's deepening role in supporting high-frequency retail payments. This unprecedented scale, reliability and interoperability achieved by UPI has received global recognition, with the International Monetary Fund (IMF) acknowledging it as the world's largest real-time payment system by transaction volume, underscoring India's leadership in building scalable, inclusive and innovative digital public infrastructure. India's UPI Unified Payments Interface has significantly expanded its global footprint as well. UPI supports merchant payments in the UAE, Singapore, Bhutan, Nepal, Mauritius, France, Sri Lanka, Qatar. Additional partnerships or pilots exist in places like Oman, Maldives, Cyprus, and discussions target Southeast Asia countries like Thailand, Malaysia, also Japan, UK, and other countries. NPCI RBI aim for UPI presence or linkages in 20 countries by financial year 2029. India's global success is reflected in its participation in big-ticket infrastructure and connectivity projects. IMEC or India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. It is a major multimodal connectivity project linking India to the Gulf, that's Eastern Corridor, and then to Europe, that's Northern Corridor, via rail, ports, roads, energy pipelines, including clean hydrogen, electricity grids, and digital infrastructure. It aims to reduce transit times and costs compared to traditional Suez Canal routes, boost trade, and enhance supply chain resilience. While full implementation has faced delays due to regional geopolitics and conflicts, preparatory work, port upgrades, and bilateral progress continues. there are several key projected economic impacts for India. Export growth. IMEC could increase Indian exports by 5 to 8%, equating to approximately $21.85 billion in additional annual exports based on modelling around India's $437 billion export base at the time of analysis. This is driven by better access to Europe, GCC countries and Israel. Time and cost saving. Transit times from India to Europe could drop by 40% to around 12 plus days as against 20 plus days via sea routes. Logistics costs could fall by 30%. Overall Asia-Europe trade on the corridor could see annual savings of over $5 billion. Trade with partners. Strengthening India's already large trade with Gulf worth $160 billion, one of India's largest trading blocs, and Europe over 120 billion euros, 11.5% of India's total trade with predicted 6% annual growth. Benefits are notable for perishables, agriculture and high-value goods due to faster transit and lower spoilage. Infrastructure leverage. India is upgrading key western ports in Mundra, Kandla, JNPT Navi Mumbai and the new Vadhavan port. These integrate with dedicated freight corridors, turning India into a stronger manufacturing and export hub while attracting FDI from Gulf sovereign wealth funds and European partners. Broader connectivity links region covering 25% of the world's population with around 40% of the global GDP. The establishment of June 21st as the International Day of Yoga stands as a landmark victory for India's cultural diplomacy and soft power projection. Formally proposed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his maiden address to the 69th UN General Assembly in September of 2014, he highlighted yoga not merely as physical exercise, but as a holistic pathway to harmony between humanity and nature, offering a conscious lifestyle shift that aligns with climate action. In 2014, the UNGA draft resolution received a record-breaking 177 co-sponsoring nations, the highest ever for any UNGA resolution of its nature, and passed within unprecedented 90 days of inception. Celebrated annually on June 21st, the day has successfully mainstreamed traditional Indian wellness systems into global public health and preventive medicine frameworks.
माता भूमि ही पुत्रो अहम पृथ्वीया, ये धरती हमारी माँ, हमारी संस्कृति हमें सिखाती है कि प्रकृति से जितना हासिल किया है उसे लौटाने का प्रयास भी करना चाहिए। इसलिए भारत ने विश्व को एक नया मार्ग सुझाया।
Prime Minister Modi also gave a mantra to the global community to work towards sustainable future both at community as well as individual level. The concept of lifestyle for environment or life was introduced by Prime Minister Modi at COP26 in Glasgow in 2021, calling upon the global community to drive life as an international mass movement towards mindful and deliberate utilization instead of mindless, destructive consumption to protect and preserve the environment. The mission also plans to create a global army of environment enthusiasts known as Pro-Planet People, committed to adopting and promoting environment-friendly lifestyles. Mission Life's extensive goal is to mobilize at least 1 billion Indians and other global citizens to adopt individual and collective sustainable actions between 2022 and 2028. The long-term vision of Mission Life is to trigger shifts in large-scale industrial and government policies that can support both sustainable consumption and production, working through individual behavior, communities, and ultimately industry and government policy. The United Nations General Assembly at its 75th session declared 2023 as the International Year of Millets based on a proposal by India supported by 72 countries. Millets once accounted for about a third of India's food basket, but saw drastic decline per capita consumption that dropped by 83% in rural and 77% in urban areas over recent decades. When Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced Union Budget in February of 2023, she rebranded millets as Shri Anna, meaning the best of all grains, marking a powerful symbolic and policy shift. India is the world's largest producer of millets, with a share of over 42% of global production. 12 years of Modi government has played a decisive role in boosting the standing and stature of India on the global stage. Today, India's voice and perspective carries significant heft in global geopolitics. With that, we conclude this special presentation. Namaskar.